Hey everyone, so I'm going to show you how to turn your rough draft into a final draft. You can't just submit the same thing that you wrote and pass it off as the final draft. It needs to be at least 10% different from the original draft, and I'm going to show you, using my example here, some of the things that I would change in my own writing. Obviously, I have written many essays. I have a degree in English that required a lot of writing in order to get to. And during that time, I had worked and found out some stuff that I wish I had known back in my high school day that I feel like that I was never taught, or at least it just never stuck with me. So I'm going to show you some of the tips that I have. As you read it, I'm going to read this out loud. The significance of Giuseppe Corte moving from floor to floor is that he is having to come to terms with his mortality and the denial that he has throughout the process. So technically, that's okay. I could make it better though, because again, I wanted to be very direct to the prompt, and the prompt was asking how he had changed. So I would say the significance of Giuseppe Corte moving from floor to floor is that he has come to terms with his mortality and has increasingly become in denial, and then again, denial of what? Denial of his mortality. And then to make it make sense throughout the process. But now it says the significance of Giuseppe Corte moving from floor to floor is that he is having to come to terms with his mortality and has increasingly become in denial of his mortality throughout the process. Okay, so that's better, it's more specific, and it answers the prompt a little bit better. Giuseppe finds himself moving from floor to floor, and he becomes increasingly uneasy at each move because he has a terminal disease that is not specifically named, because we never know again what he had. We just know that he's dying from whatever illness he has. We can guess cancer by the way they described it, but we don't know for sure. Okay, next. This is seen when Corte is moved from the floors. So this is something that I don't like, so I'm going to get rid of it. This is seen. I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to start it off. When Corte is moved from the 7th floor to the 6th floor, now we need a comma there because how I started it off with when, he states that he will move to the 6th floor, but it feels like a bad omen. Okay, so that to me seems better. And again, make sure you have the author's last name and the page number right there. Next, he realizes that according to the doctors, who also don't want to admit to that he's dying, he is moving just to benefit another patient. He is clearly not happy to be doing it, and it feels like there is some supernatural aspect of this that he will have a negative effect on him. So I would say that that's okay. And again, aspect of, rather than saying of this, of their moving him from one floor to the next. Alright, next. While he seems fairly reasonable about his first move down, he becomes increasingly agitated until he completely breaks down for his final move. So that's my transition. I'm going to leave that. I like that a lot. When Corte is moved from the 3rd floor to the 1st, because of another random explanation from the doctors, again, being specific about why, and I could technically even be more specific, but it is at this moment where we see that Giuseppe is having to come to terms with the fact that he is on his way to his final destination. His scream is an admittance that his life is coming to an end. So this is, again, more of an add part now. So I'm going to add, this is in contrast from where he was at the beginning of the story to the end. Okay, so I'm running out of time here, but I just wanted to tell you guys, so that's basically what you guys need to be doing with the End of Clay prompt. Obviously, the prompt is a little bit different, but if you have any questions, just send me a message on Remind, and I'd be happy to help you guys out if you have any more questions. All right, thank you.